of the 42 ideals of Ma'at. My mother is nature. My father is time. I am a Neski queen.
Now, we are officially live. Okay, guys, we appreciate everyone who stuck around. We are running a little bit tardy, but the show will definitely be going the full length as necessary because we are now streaming from the Full Authors Media Network. So we are doing big things in 2024, and we're ending the month with a great episode. It's January 25th, episode 8 of the Be More Mindful podcast. And for those who don't know and are just joining us, the Be More Mindful podcast is an open forum for conversation about mental and social barriers focused in urban living, while exposing the cultural arts and enlightening the community as to how participating in these arts can help cope with these barriers. And so with that being said, you guys know who I am. I am your host, Aneski Anna Kimset. I am the queen what life was like. Aneski literally means she belongs to me. So for this moment in time, you guys, I am all yours, and I thank you for joining us. All right. And so before we get started with the show, you guys know I like to go over the expectations of the show. So everyone can feel comfortable and join a conversation, whether it's participating verbally or just listening, sharing, however. But here at the Be More Mindful podcast, we go by just a small little decorum. Here is 4 letters. If you can remember the letters, LOVE, then you can participate in this conversation freely. I'll tell you what those letters mean. They're also shown at the bottom of the screen. L means listen to everyone. We're here to listen to everyone. I'm here to listen to my guests. You guys are going to listen to me. Everyone's going to listen to both of us. Hopefully we'll be getting callers in soon. We'll listen to you guys. And we're just going to learn how to have a conversation, which is something that I, am stressing importance in our communities. The O is simple. It means openly express with respect. This is an open forum, so your opinions do matter. We do want to hear what you have to say. We want to make sure we do so without offending anyone. Being here at Full Authors Media Network, I'm a free spirit, so I'm well with people expressing themselves, especially as necessary for any creative matters. And as you'll see, we'll be dealing with a lot of creators. So openly express yourself. We're going to do it with respect, and we're going to make sure we maintain civility in our words. Next, we're going to view opinions individually. Everyone here is open to their own opinion. They're open to have their own thoughts and feelings. We're here to discuss them just so we can be able to connect with each other and learn from each other. And so with that being said, hold everyone individual to their account. We're not trying to pose our views on anyone. We're just here expressing ourselves. Again, this is just an open forum to have a free conversation and getting to know each other as a people. And last but not least, we're going to end in all things peace and love. Whether we agree or disagree, it doesn't matter. What matters is the conversation was had. We all was enlightened, and we could do so in peace and love because, again, everyone has their right to their thoughts and everything. And so tonight, I have a special guest with me. I met this young man back in 2023.
Yeah.
2023, the summer as well, the summertime. I was, in my creative space, and I had an idea for doing Baltimore's version of what would be known as the game show Wild and Out. And it's when the comedians come together and do improv based on certain little game scenarios. And not only was JAH'CREAM a participant as one of the comedians, he was also one of the writers when it came to some of the games that were played. And so everyone knows I love people, getting their flowers while they can smell them. So I want to thank you, JAH'CREAM, because, we already had, oh my gosh, I'm like caught in the moment. And I was like, we already had Dion. We already had Dion on. He was up on episode 2. We already had Dion on, and You know,
Yes.
he played a very potential part, especially when it came to forming some of the ideas that were put into the games. And so and it was Ty. Everyone, Chi Chi, Manny, everyone brought something to the table. And I said then, if I didn't express, you guys were awesome. I'm so glad. I'm grateful to be able to put that in my portfolio. You guys were very important part to that whole process coming together. I'm
Yeah.
I'm not nowhere near nothing without a good team. And so shout out to Cream. You guys can check out his bio on Instagram. And so as we go through, I like when I introduce my guests here, I always like for them to just tell what they do in the art, and more importantly, tell how that art helps them cope with any mental or social barriers, if you
Yeah.
don't mind.
Of course. First, I want to say thank you for this opportunity, and for the opportunity before, to do the show, both
Yes.
of the shows.
Hilarious.
It was amazing. It was fun. Uh, it was challenging, and it was a challenge I needed as a not only as a person but as a comic, and as a comedic writer. So I want to appreciate you for that. Um, and yeah, I'm a comic. Newer to comedy. I was an MC for like a good 15 years, in and out the music industry, and I just became jaded with making music. But I'm a creative. I've always been a creative person. I've always been a goofy person. So I was like, you know what? Let me see if my sense of humor translates on the stage, and it does. And so I'm coming up on 3 years of doing comedy now.
Wow. Yeah. Yep. Yep. So how does comedy help you cope with you and I, we've had personal conversations, and
Yeah.
I'm pretty much transparent to my viewers in those period, because I believe when it comes to healing, one of the best things you can be is transparent, because
Yes.
you tend to meet other people in the moment of healing. And so
Yes.
you end up identifying with certain things, and then learning even more. So tell me, how does comedy help you cope with any mental or social barriers that you deal with on a daily basis?
I'm shy. Most people don't believe me when I say that, and I don't. I guess because of my persona online.
Wow.
Um, but I'm very shy, so it helps me to like get myself out more, and like be vocal in public and do public speaking. I don't like to speak in public. Like performing is one thing because I could just put on. I wore a mask when I perform raps,
Right.
so it's different when you're going out as yourself. As JAH'CREAM and bearing your whole self to people. So it has helped me boost my confidence, um, and also it has helped me deal with grief because before I decided to, you know, pursue comedy full fledged, my father was the first person I ever told a joke to, like an actual joke that I wrote, and he, I almost lost him prematurely then because his pacemaker started shocking him because he was laughing so hard. Um, and so,
That's what comics do. No.
yeah,
Right.
and so he, after he passed, I was like, okay, I got to pursue this. And so right after he passed, actually a few months after he passed, I decided to give it a go. And ever since then, I've been hitting stages. So it's helped me a lot with my grief and dealing with that because it was very traumatic. My father's passing because he passed in the home that we all lived in.
Wow.
And so, processing that stage has helped me a lot. Not even like the actual thing, like, because I haven't really talked about it on stage, but just processing that through my jokes. Um, and through my relationship with comedy has helped me to deal with the crazier parts of the grief process.
Wow. That's interesting because, again, as a poet, dealing with grief is, for me, is mostly formed around, developing poetry. But comedy actually is a more lighter way, because it actually gives you a way to view things from a very healthy standpoint, which is, like laughter, which
Hmm.
is, most people say it, but it's so true. It's one of, our pun intended with the topic, is one of
Yeah.
the best medicines,
It is though.
in the world. So it's like, that, to me, I always admire comics. Robin Williams will forever always be, like at the top. And the way he left, this side of, life is always intrigues me, because it's just like who he when you say put, like you say, you are able to put on a mask, and as a performer, I tell people quick, I'm a thespian heart, so once it's action, action is nothing. It's, you literally turn your alter ego steps forth,
Yeah.
and it gives you the power to, like you say, not only get over traumas, but help you get over fears.
Yes.
You help you be courageous. It gives you, a sense of strength, because you are being, someone who is the opposite of what you feel as though would be lesser or unnecessary or weak, And so, yeah, I get that. I like the fact that comedy is definitely your choice, because you're able to. I've watched you. Even one of the games we played had to deal with doing improv, doing lyrics, music.
Uh-huh.
Like you always you would hit that, and you could tell that's where your music's background would definitely shine and show. And so, of course, with being a musician, I'm as a poet. Music is poetry, poetry is music, and so yeah, it's like
That's hip hop.
it's definitely hip hop, and yes, you see all that in you, and I encourage everyone who's paying attention. Make sure y'all know everyone I bring on here is about supporting Baltimore and bringing things together, as a whole, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, financially. Let's make this circle, bold and big and strong, so
Right.
that when no one can penetrate it. That no one can tear it down, no one can penetrate it. That's what we need in our city. We need to come together and bring things and support each other. I had Segway posted earlier on one of my stories. I said, if you're not showing up to events, streaming, buying tickets, purchasing merch, then you're not really supporting the Baltimore artists. And
Yeah.
I said that. That's the truth. We
It is.
have to, this needs to be shared. If you're a fan of Ja, like I am, of his comedy, share this so people can get to know him and understand a little bit more. And we can all be more mindful of each other as not only as people, but as artists,
Yeah.
as citizens, and as a culture and a community.
And
So,
likewise, and for my, not to interrupt, but likewise for my people that are in the room, if y'all are here, because I can't really see, but if y'all are here, make sure y'all follow the sister Aneski, and make sure that you are in tune with all the things that she's doing as a poet, as a playwright,
thank you.
as a black author,
Yes.
doing real thespian shit.
Yeah.
Make sure you go support that sister.
Thank you. So yeah, let's get ready to jump right into the show. And for those who catch the show, you all know I have a very simple itinerary. We always start the conversation with a post. I normally try to post at least a week ahead with a quote from an author or maybe whomever, something that I feel pertaining to the topic. So I'm going to see if I can share it. Oh, again, yes. So tonight we're going to come from a quote from Connor Oberst. And Connor Oberst is actually a musician. He plays the piano and a harmonica, and I try to listen to his music. It kind of is, it's one of those, the type of music that you just really have to listen to the words to, because the words definitely are meaningful, but the music can be a little bit on a low vibe side. So it's probably something I would listen to more if I was out in nature.
Okay.
With that background. But Conal Oberst, he made a very interesting statement. He says, we might die from medication, but we sure killed all the pain. And I have a background as a certified pharmacy technician. And let me tell you, I did 2 years as a certified pharmacy tech. Working in that industry is extremely nerve-wracking and scary. You learn, I was taught things that I probably wasn't supposed to know, because I had the type of teacher who was more dedicated to the knowledge than the dollars that it cost to teach it. And so, I learned about big pharma earlier than what it was exposed in the media, real big before Dr. Sebi passed. And so, it's like
Before they killed that man.
yes, exact that part. Oh, if this was that type of podcast. But anyway, yeah, so I've always been for a long time. My mom's from Tarboro, North Carolina. For a long time, I've been as much as I can, anti prescription. Doctor prescribed. I barely, did OTCs, which is over the counters for fevers for my children. I to this day will pick an onion over Tylenol or ibuprofen. Like if you see me grabbing Tylenol, I'm concerned.
Right.
So it's like what is that? That when he said that quote was just like he said we might die from medication, as if he was just sliding in something in there, for us to know. But we certainly did kill all the pain, and I think about that, like, when I really injure myself beyond just what I can bear, and I'm like, I need the real stuff. You might catch me if a toothache hit me at the wrong time of night. You might catch me on Pennsylvania Avenue, like, I don't know. I can't see. You feel me? Like, that's just being 100, because at the end of the day, pain is something that I think as a human that is it can be, depending on your threshold, excruciating without some type of sedative.
Most definitely.
But is it worth dying over the medication is what I was getting at. It's just like, I know people now, I don't have a habit, you're not going to catch me just every day. I don't know, way do I allow my tolerance or level get to the point where I'm dependent on opioids or prescription medicine, because I've learned, from a background that taught me that to be fearful of what these people are putting in these pills.
Yeah.
So what do you think of that? That
yeah, my bad.
No, you're good.
I think that it is but a symptom of the major sickness, and the major sickness to me is capitalism. And so we're not looking at healing people with these medicines. We're looking at creating either long-time users, so that way we can keep them, consistently like addicted to this medication.
Right.
And then the medication causes side effects that you'll need another medication to fix. And that medication has side effects that you need another medication to fix. And so now you're on this cocktail of these medications to sustain your living, but you're not actually living. You're a shell of your former self, and it's to get rid of a little bit of pain, and it's because the goal is not to heal people. The goal is to get their money.
Yeah. You hit that on the nose. So I promise you, I tell this story to anyone who wouldn't mind hearing. The very first day of class, the teacher, he stood up in front of the class and he says, who's in this classroom because they want to help people, who want, you really want to help people.
Yeah.
I mean, people hands was going up like, of course, like pharmacy, medicine, and help people. Right. And he said, well, I suggest all of you stand up and go to be a med tech or a dentist tech or something, because this class is only about one thing. And he drew a dollar sign on a whiteboard. And it was one of the realest moments of my life. Unforgettable.
Yeah.
He just was, and it let me know from there. That was the foundation of the lessons in that class.
That's a rare person right there.
And I promise you, I went back looking for this person, and I was told that they no longer was at the school. And I always wondered, was it because that's one of the best teachers.
Yeah.
I mean, I learned so much, and it put me on a road to herbal healing.
Yeah.
So even then, like even now, I have a sister. Shout out to Kiana of Gifted Hands. She's a great person when it comes to wanting to know natural, natural
remedies.
Natural care. She also she's a massage therapist. And Mama's House. You guys know that, I do not believe in, charging for advertising, because again, this is about building, building a circle. But I definitely want to shout these two ladies out because of the influence they've had in my life. This is personal experience.
Yeah.
Um, these two ladies, at one point in time, my eyes were a lot, and they're still clearing, but a lot worse than this. And I met my sister in life, Lady V. And our first contact, our initial contact, she told me that I needed to cut back on drinking alcohol. Never had a conversation with her a day in my life before that moment. But
Yeah.
what she didn't know, I was going through such a major time in my life. I literally was drinking like I would just say all day, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner,
Yeah.
because I was just in that moment in my life, and I took that consciousness from someone, that vibe, and I took it very seriously, because
Yeah.
that's just not something, especially between two sisters or females. It's just, hey, and by the way, sis, cleanse yourself up, drink more water. And so with that, I followed up with the water, and then it's like I said, Kiana, a good sister of mine, she told me to add chlorophyll. And so, I was like, what? Duh. And it's such a refreshing drink. I do it with, it has with some mint drops,
Yeah.
with in head water, ice cold, and I do that, and it's very refreshing, it's very relieving. And then if anyone wants to like detox, that's a good, good like you say, cocktail, a good concoction you could put together. But yeah, tell me, so have you ever had a moment where you were prescribed a medication and you got some crazy side effects or something? You know what I mean? Like you was like, this is not it.
No, but I have dealt with addiction to prescription pills.
Mm,
Um, Not really, the side effects from that shit, like the withdrawals, is crazy.
wow.
And the withdrawals from that and other opioids, I used to sip lean too. Um,
Wow.
and the withdrawal effects of that shit is crazy. What it does to your body. Um, I lost my side teeth um, on the right side of my mouth from like sipping lean straight
Yeah,
up,
yeah.
like not even mixing it, straight up, straight syrup. Because that
So
shit,
if anyone who doesn't know, the background on lean is promethazine, which is actually a steroid.
it's
And
heroin.
yes, there you go. It's like straight point to it,
Yeah.
just straight to it with a sweeter version of it, in
Hmm.
a liquid form. And so, you know, people that know, of course, if you use dope, one of the main things that goes your teeth. That's a good sign of. But yeah, go ahead. Yeah, that's
Yeah. So that shit, the side effects, not from the medicine, but from the medicine, was me losing my teeth, and it wasn't prescribed to me. Of course, I took it recreationally, but I
right,
feel like the same shit happens to people who are prescribed Percocets, because I know a lot of people who are prescribed
right.
morphine and Percocets and have never had an addiction in their lives, and then that shit ruins their lives.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
because they got into a car accident. It was a car accident. They had some back spasms, some back pains that were unbearable. They couldn't move around, and then they were prescribed Percocet. Because the pharmaceutical people go to the fucking pharmacies and like, hey, push this
Hmm.
medicine, we'll pay you this amount.
Right.
Push this
Yep.
medicine, you know. And so these people who led normal lives, weren't, impoverished or anything like that. It happens to everybody.
Yeah, yeah. Be more mindful. This is something that we really do need to pay attention to, because it's an easy slip. It's an easy, like you said, you hit it on the nose. A simple accident, work injury, anything, and these doctors are quick to, put the pen to the paper and give you something that they know is a class 2 drug, which means it's highly addictive,
Hmm.
and highly, needed. Like you're highly dependent. Your
Right.
body depends on the drug to actually, feel right or cope or be what the drug point of view would be considered normal, or what it needs. And we kind of don't even know, like, from there, that people are quick to say,
Mhm.
I'm going to say it, I'm going to address the elephant in the room. People are quick to say, marijuana is the gateway drug, and like, let's just be, factual,
Yeah.
very factual, very factual. The gateway drug is the first drug that you use that has you in that situation.
Yeah.
Like, no person that smokes, well, I'm not gonna say, but in smoking marijuana, I don't see people, ruining households like I do see them over crack,
Right.
or dope, or even alcohol. People who drink alcohol are more abusive.
Yeah. I've never heard of nobody sucking no dick for no fucking hit of marijuana.
Not at all.
Well, I
Not
have,
at all.
but not in the cases.
Not just one. Talk about, let's say, 5 gram on a scale.
I know a few $40 hollers that about to grab for a gram. Well, not no new, but yeah.
Yeah, I know, truly, honestly, but I mean, people gonna do what they're gonna do for whatever they feel is what they need. But let's just be honest; these prescription drugs are causing a problem in our culture that we're being led to believe a falsity about a herbal remedy for a lot of the issues that people are going to these drugs for. You know what I mean?
And if you really wanted to help, right? If the goal of these pharmaceutical companies was really to help, and then know that okay, let's say the only possibility of helping to get rid of this pain was this class 2 drug, right? If your goal was to help these people, you would have therapy set up for when they have to wean themselves off of this drug, so that way they can healthily transition into the natural healing aspect of their healing process.
Right.
But that's not the goal.
That's not the goal. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. That's not the goal. And that's something that we just really have to be mindful of. We have to be mindful. We have to be able to stand up against these doctors and these pharmaceutical companies says no, you know what, I think I'm going to go the natural way, or I drink more water. I'm gonna recommend it because I'm telling you, it's one of the best things in life. Literally,
it is life.
It really is. Drink more water. Yeah. So that ends that segment, and I hope people really do take that into consideration, and let's stop adding to the media with the lies. Let's just be real and be honest, and start healing our families from a more natural way. Let's stop giving our children Benadryl to go to sleep.
Well, melatonin is fine, but
melatonin that's different. It's not diphenhydramine. Stop giving our children Dimetapp, bufenestine. I think I'm saying it right. I'm years out of the field now, but stop giving that. Give them some honey. Give them tea. Stop shoving those Takis down their throats with that color red dye. That let's start being mindful of the chemical reactions that we have going on. You have to understand the Food and Drug Administration. I've learned this in pharmacy tech class. The pharmacy tech class, he literally pointed out one of the first things was said was, why do you think the same people that tell you what to eat are the same people that tell you what to take when you get sick? So just think about that. Think about back when they was telling us to drink milk, got milk. Now they talking about vitamin D shows an increase in breast cancer and this, that, and the third. Pay attention. Be more mindful what we're giving our families now.
And they pumping the food with the drugs too. So it's not like you can escape it. It's fluoride in the water. You can't escape it. Stop drinking plastic bottled waters if you can avoid it. I know I'm drinking this shit right now. I need to buy a Brita. But I'm saying it because I'm saying it to myself too.
Right.
Stop drinking plastic bottled waters because the microplastics in them shits is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like look up microplastics to those that you are watching, if you're not aware of look up microplastics.
Man, my daughter did a report on it, and I did not promise you. I think this was just last year. She did a report, and I think she created a rap. I'm geeking. I know she did. It was like one of the best little raps ever. And it was just like, I did not even know that much about microplastics. And her little rap just summarized it and made it very, layman, and it was right. And I was just, it's just like, wow, what? And
Yeah.
to the point, like, like you said, it makes you want, I went and got the filter and all that stuff, but it makes you weary of what you putting in your body, because you see they're setting you up, like you said, to be hooked on something. You need to remedy something that they got you hooked on in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah, be careful. So with that being said, we get ready to go into our next part of our show, and which is what I call experts versus experience. And as you all know, I do not have a degree or no type of certifications by law for the things I speak on, but I mean, when you're diagnosed with certain things like bipolar disorder, ADHD, PTSD, you tend to, end up in some experiences. So, I feel like I'm okay to speak on some of the things I'm speaking on, and
Yeah.
we touched on a touch basis on the article that I spoke about. We just touched based on marijuana, as we all know, it's been opened up to being recreational right now, and so everybody's jumping on the weed train, but for people like me who's, as soon as they made it medicinal, immediately went and got, reviewed and got my medicinal card, my medical marijuana card, because of the medicinal uses of it. I'm a strong advocate for it.
Yeah.
And
Well, what
so,
they need to do is make sure that they overturn all of those marijuana convictions so that them people can have successful lives,
say that.
myself
Yes,
included.
I know that's right. No, sometimes you got to be your own biggest advocate.
Yeah.
This is true, because you have to think about how many people, are sitting, behind bars or for marijuana, and then you turn around and tell everyone, "Hey, hold time, you guys are helping everyone out." You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it's like,
Facts.
it's like, okay, we've been knew that, we've been preaching these things have been hitting clips and certain things, even listening to Bob Marley and learning the real truth and heritage of reggae music, and their actual belief in the uses of marijuana. When you get to the cultural aspects of the marijuana leaf, and then further it with science and medical support for the remedies that that it can be used for. You tend to you know wonder, why do they create so many variants of different opioids or pills, or now I've seen, now they're doing vaccinate these new vaccinations for RSV, and it's like, why do they steer us away from the
Mhm.
natural remedies, that were already there?
Well, you want to know why? Because one, it's not sustainable.
Mhm.
In capitalism, you want a business that's sustainable, that's long lasting. That's why slavery lasts as long as it did.
Mm.
And with marijuana, uh, hemp plant was the basis of all marijuana prohibition in the United States and abroad. What was happening at the time, before they released Reefer Madness as a propaganda point, um, they were going to switch over from paper because they were killing the trees and realized they were killing the planet,
Mhm.
into hemp because it was easier to process. It grew in about 6 months, whereas the tree took a lifetime to grow. And you can easily reproduce hemp to create paper and clothing and things of that nature.
Right.
And so this big wig at a newspaper place, he was like, "Nah, I'm not with that shit." So he put out this newspaper article that said that Mexicans and blacks were getting high off of hemp and raping white women, and so it was causing what was coined as reefer madness.
Wow.
And so that led to the widespread prohibition of marijuana, hemp, and things of that nature, and the over prosecution of these marijuana
Man,
cases.
that's what I'm here for. I'm here for it. Teach me. Teach me. You see this, Baltimore? And this is someone whose chosen field of art is a comedian. It's nothing wrong with this. Like, it's nothing wrong with being funny and being smart at the same time. So you're a wise ass. I just want you to know that you are the definition of a wise ass. I appreciate that knowledge. Very, very informative. I learned something new. I like that. I got something to study when at the end at the end of the show. But yeah, so I ended up reading this article. I like to read articles, and it was on American Psychology Association. Their online magazine is apa.org. I like to, as a publisher, I like to cite,
sources. Hey. Respect.
And so they were discussing some of the studies that people were doing where they were prescription drugs versus marijuana. And there was this program called MIND, Mind. And I'm just going to read a little paragraph, and then, we can go over, this is what the expert says, but let's, put our experience in this, Yeah. So it said, Mind has conducted a number of studies on patients using cannabis for medical purposes, looking at the impact of their cognitive performance over time, starting before use and following them at 3 and 6 month intervals for up to 2 years. These studies have found that the patients who have used cannabis to treat a range of medical problems, including anxiety, had largely improved cognitive performance, reduced clinical symptoms, and anxiety-related symptoms, as well as reduced use of conventional medications, including opioids, benzodiazepines, and other mood stabilizers and antidepressants. Now, I chose that because that is something that personally I have actually had so much experience with. My first diagnosis was at the age of 16, and I was prescribed Prozac, and I literally was depressed every day. It is such a downer. It's like you want to get up, and it's like, no, you stay right here. And it's just like worse than Eeyore. And even now, trying to find what I've come to find out when it does come to bipolar depression, most in my experience I've seen, like most females seem to get diagnosed for their depressive side because their hyperromantic side is sort of overlooked because how society views how women should be. So, a hyper female, isn't something that's really encouraged. You're taught to, sit down and be dainty and powder puff and such. And so when we are, when that hyperactivity is suppressed, we, tend to, carry suppressed and depressed moods. And so we're automatically pushed towards antidepressants or depressive mood. And so we're automatically normally just, I've been trying to deal with trying to cope with, they was, I prescribed mood stabilizer at one point. And again, I just don't like, I'm a colorful person. I do not like medications that have me mundane. I'm not black and white, and and I don't even think I'm really gray because that's still very plain to me. I'm a vivid, colorful person, and so medicines that tend to have me, stuck in a certain mood are uncomfortable for me. Whereas with marijuana, I'm able to be in control of I'm able to maintain that same, resilient, vibrant, mood, but also, maintain my energy level. I'm able to, bring it down some, but still get to keep my character, So, I know you said something about, being, at a point in time being dependent upon lean and other painkillers. But we do know you smoke marijuana now. Can you tell me what is your experience with that? With that difference of a high or how those highs, work for you?
I'm not even gonna lie. That was some of the best highs I had in my motherfucking life. I'm not even gonna especially that lean. If you don't fall asleep.
If you don't fall asleep.
Man, if you don't fall asleep and you stay up past the nod off phase, I'm I'm talking euphoric. But
But
I see that I can't lie to you, because if I lie to you, I would discount what it is that keeps people attracted to it, and you're going to want to go and do it yourself. Um, but the benefits don't outweigh what it costs you. Like the benefits of the fun, the high, the euphoria, they don't benefit what it costs you. It cost me my teeth. That's
right,
not that, and that's not even about being vain. Um,
right,
it's about understanding that you need your teeth. You
right,
need your teeth to chew.
right,
Um, your mouth is a very important part of your health.
right,
Um, it's your mouth, it's your stomach, and things of that nature. You know, you got to make sure you take care of what you have, because you want to have this for the rest of your life. I
right,
know, like this uh this society now, like niggas getting veneers and all this shit. Nobody got their original teeth no more, and it's like, nah. I want to at least say when I die, like, if I do got some improvements, you ain't gonna. I still got my teeth.
right.
You know, my real teeth. So that shit was not. I wouldn't recommend anybody going to do any of that. And if you're getting marijuana, um, watch out for, you know, the sources on the street, because there's a possibility that you might get some shit with some fent in it.
Right.
Um, and my rule of thumb when I go to dispensaries is I try not to get anything that says lab at the end of it, unless I know for sure that it was locally or sustainably grown. Because if it has lab in the name of it, then I feel like the government has a hand in it. And if
Right.
the government has a hand in it, then it's not going to do what it's supposed to do. It's going to do what they want it to do.
Say
And
that.
so I've smoked some shit that said lab, you know, from some kind of lab or whatever. I'm not going to name any particular names. And, you know, it says it's supposed to help anxiety. That shit made me anxious as fuck. I'm,
Right.
I'm thinking shit that I wasn't even thinking before I hit the blunt. Like, what the
Right.
fuck? Hyper paranoid. I'm like, I'm gonna relax. I had a long day at work. No, I can't relax.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like really I'm like that too. Like as far as being when I say I'm like that, I've learned to be careful, be more mindful of my source when
Yeah,
I am picking up my meds. Like when I especially when I go when I what I love about going to the dispensary is the conversation that I get to have, with the pro behind the counter. Like, and I'm like, and we get to hit it on the nose every time because I'm telling them I have back pain. I've given birth to seven, live people. I've had,
yeah,
four natural births and three cesareans. So I have major back pain. I also have insomnia, and then on top of insomnia, I have ADHD, and then again, like I said, with bipolar disorder and depression. And so these are, I get it definitely body aches and pains and all that.
yeah.
What I often tell my doctor, and when I'm speaking of medicines, is that I like the all-in-one. I like the all-in-one. I can go to the dispensary and say, I need this, that, and the third, and they say, well, here, this has, for instance, and I'm not naming exact, but this has limonene or triproline or whatever means
Mhm.
it is that I need, for whatever, and I get that one, that one thing instead of, oh, I'm taking ibuprofen and acetaminophen for pain, and then I got to take, uh, oh gosh, cyclobenzaprine, and it's
God
just like,
damn.
right, and then I get,
Yeah,
on top of that, and then I'm taking diphenhydramine and unisoms, and so it's like, come on now. I just think it's something crazy about having to take, all of that. I don't want to be the old
that
lady
cocktail.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday boxes. Like
Like, I'm diabetical. I got to take this for Mondays, this for Tuesdays.
no, yeah. So I tell my doctors, because they say, well, why don't you try this? And then and one time I'm in therapy, and she was like, true story. She's like, I have a combination for you. And she named four meds. Now,
Jesus
I'm a
Christ.
mixologist. To me, that's like thinking of someone saying, I'm going to make you a Long Island iced tea. Like, you about to have me.
Well, I'm about to make you a triple stack.
Yeah, like, I'm not gonna be able to function like this, ma'am. You know,
Right.
and then on top of it, like my ADHD don't allow me to remember taking so many meds a day anyway. You know, I'm one of them people, I be doubling up on vitamins. So it's like, you know, I like the all in one, you know, and it's something about a communion. I don't know about you, but it's something about a communion when you smoke it. It becomes like, you know, you don't ever see a bunch of pill poppers get together and just be like, you know, hey,
Nah, they don't. They don't like to share with each other.
yeah.
Yeah. Only drug heads I know that's generous is wealthy cokeheads.
Right.
They
I
they
bet,
they
right?
look yeah
You
they
get
real
hooked on this
generous.
with you can't afford it, but
Right. Like here, you want some coke, buddy? Like yeah, I've been to a few parties and it's just generous with the cocaine. I'm okay. No, thank you.
yeah, oh man, that's crazy. But yeah, so yeah, so it's like yeah, you know, and I'm not again nowhere near you know promoting or advertising. We're just having a conversation. You know, if you at all feel as though that you know there are medications out there, if you ever feel as though you know what is ailing you is overwhelming and beyond your natural control, I nowhere near discourage anyone who chooses to follow any doctor's advice who may give them prescription medication, because at the end of the day, your health is really what matters to me, and no one can dictate or order your health like you can. So what works for you works for you, and you know, like you know, we're gonna wrap it up, but that's where I'm at with it. I appreciate you, Jai, for coming on. I love the fact you were able to again show you're funny, because you're a funny guy.
Thank you.
You are, you know, we have an infamous moment from the show. Like I fall asleep laughing at flashbacks of that moment sometimes. I promise you, unforgettable. You had to be there. For anyone who missed any of the shows of Doing Too Much, I promise you all missed something amazing. I had some of the best comedians in Baltimore, the best improv comedians in the
For real.
city working with me, and those guys were worth every moment. I'm telling you.
He brought us together like the comedic Avengers. Like it was some heavy hitters in there. In
There
that
was some heavy hitters.
yeah.
Shout out to Manny the Good. Shout out to Chi Chi,
Yes.
the only female and was reigning queen of the main event.
Yeah.
Um,
Shout out my nigga Jack in your box.
yes, Jack. Oh my man, Jack. Thank you for the support. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Damo Can.
Damo came. Yes. Like, oh man. Shout out to Martina Lynch for
Yes.
coming out. And man, I'm trying to tell you guys, if you are not stream her right now, I'm telling you, some of Baltimore's most motivational, realist music. It's like, you know, um, make sure you stream Martina Lynch.
Hell yeah.
Guys.
And what's that brother name? And I know his name, but I'm having a brain fart right now.
Tony from the one
Yeah,
from
from the rack. Yeah, shout out to Tony.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we get ready to close out. I know I normally pull a quote about medications or really what about would be my final mindful thought, and I wasn't really able to find one you know outside of the cliche, which I just didn't you know pull it, because through it all, like I said, I encourage anyone that feel as though that they you know need a supplement outside of what they can naturally, you know, if you try your natural remedies first, you know, if you
Yeah.
can.
Listen to your body.
Listen to your body. Start off with drinking more water.
Mm.
You'd be surprised how refreshing you feel physically, mentally, and emotionally just adding pure water to your system sometimes. Um, and most of all, you know, my be more mindful thought of this evening is laughter is the best medicine. Like in all of the things that's going on, I promise you, like even in your body's, physically down, if you put on something, some comedy, or you put on some laughter, I promise you, your spirit will lift up, your physical nature will lift up, your emotions will lift up. It really is the best medicine. It's cliche as I don't know what, but
It's true.
it's so true. It's so true. And make sure Baltimore, tap into our artists, our Baltimore comedians. Our Dion has an open mic. Ja has an open mic.
Yes.
It's like these comedians are giving you an opportunity to come out and get some medicine and an open atmosphere with other people who feel the need to have to laugh, because laughter really does a big difference. I've even learned if you smile more, you actually can wake up feeling better, doing better, just literally forcing a smile. I used to do these exercises back probably about 2016, where I used to sit in the mirror and make myself laugh for 60 seconds, because it was just to come out of my depression was used to kick my tail. I would wake up depressed. I couldn't deal. And so one
Yeah.
of the things I would do would get up and go in the bathroom, and I would force a laugh. And I promise you, after 10 seconds of fake laughing, you can't help but really laugh to the point like you don't even
Right.
know what you're laughing about. But and that's how I had to start my day.
Now,
So
question:
I'm
when
gonna
you were
let
doing that,
I'm gonna let Josh give his last moment. Make sure you tell us where to follow you, where to
yes,
find you. But please leave us with something that we could be mindful of from you, John. Thanks again for coming on.
of course. Thanks again for having me. Before I get into what I'm gonna get into, I was gonna ask, when you was laughing in the mirror, did you draw a smiley face on the mirror with lipstick? I
You
couldn't
know,
help but think like that sounded like some Joker shit.
what's funny, because I actually used to I had to picture myself with lipstick on sometimes to make myself laugh.
Yeah,
It's like really weird to me, like me with lipstick. How funny.
yeah. Um, Before I get into anything else, I want to say that if it's hard to do, if it scares you, do it. Um, Nothing great ever comes from taking the easy route, honestly. If you want to live just normal, everybody not meant to, be special. But if you want to get out of your box, if you want to achieve greater things in whatever realm that you're active in, do what scares the fuck out of you. If it's that upcoming show that somebody recommended you for and you're not sure about, if it's, stepping out for the first time to do whatever that thing is for the first time, just do that shit. Um, and I have an opportunity, if you're interested in comedy, every Monday at Fielder's Sports Tavern, 1184 Nanacoke. Um, Come out Monday 7:30 to 9:30. Have some fun. It's an open mic. You don't have to be a professional. It could be your first time. And also, I have a show on Saturday, 2 days from now, at House of Chiefs with Mia Musa Comedy. It's called Beats, Bars, and Laughs. I have the ticket link in my bio on IG, which is Cream the Comedian, CREAMTHE Comedian, on IG. So follow me. You can find all my comedy there. Please come out to a show, support the arts. Thank you, Sister Aneski, for having me on here.
Thank you.
Support the sister,
I
support the podcast.
Yeah, yeah. Make sure you
Yeah.
guys like, comment, share, do all the stuff. That part. I'm new to this, so I'm new to this, so I'm like, I don't remember to say like, comment, and share on everything. Like, comment, and share. Shout out also to my man Tone, my man Copper Tone from Follow Heritage. Him and his wife birthday just passed. Great people. If you don't know, now you know. And as they say, if you don't like what they're about, then you FOH the fuck out of here. Shout out to them, and shout out to you, JAH'CREAM, again. I don't believe in no coincidence. So, our destinies have, come to do what it do.
Yeah.
And I'll catch you this Saturday.
Bet that.
I definitely got to come through. Again, I'm going to say it before I get out of here. I'm going to say this before I get out of here. If you're not showing up, attending these events, if you're not buying tickets, purchasing merch, if you're not streaming, you're not supporting these Baltimore artists. We have to do better. We got to do better. We're learning. We're getting more information, so we got to know better. We just got to do better. And as
Yeah.
y'all know, at the end of the day, be more mindful. I'm your host again, Aneski Anna Kim Set, and the queen of what life is like. Aneski literally means she belongs to me. Thank you for having me, and I'll see y'all in 2 weeks. Thanks, Jai. Catch you later.
Peace. Catch you later. Thank you.
All right.